With the whole Russian invasion of Ukraine going on right now, it has become more and more likely that they're going to launch a nuclear bomb on them. Russia does have the second most amount of nukes stocked up, second only to the United States. But let's just say right now, for the sake of the argument, even if they're not going to launch them in the near future, it's starting to make me think of World War II. Specifically, when the United States dropped nuclear bombs two times in Japan. Which makes me think even more about the absolute devastation that nukes can cause. The first time America dropped a nuclear bomb on Japan was in Hiroshima on August 6th. 1945. The bomb was just Little Boy. It was only 20 megatons, and it killed over 140,000 people, estimated at least. And that death count also includes all of the deaths due to nuclear radiation and fallout after the bomb was dropped. Nuclear radiation is a very terrifying thing, and we have modern day examples to see of what it can cause. The Chernobyl disaster destroyed the wildlife all around it and mutated anything that survived. And all of this destruction was caused by just a single nuclear bomb. And then the Americans dropped a second one 3 days later that was even larger, although it did kill less people, as Nagasaki was not as populated as Hiroshima during the time. Dropping 2 nuclear bombs on Japan essentially ended the Second World War, along with the help of the Russian Red Army coming in to scare Japan even more. Nuclear fallout takes several weeks to dissipate, so the land that the nuclear fallout affects will be uninhabitable for that time and many years to follow. And all of this is just the damage caused by the first 2 nuclear bombs dropped on major cities. Nuclear technology has advanced significantly since 1945, an example being the Tsar Bomba, created by the Russians, a nearly 100 megaton bomb that, if dropped on the Vatican City, would completely incinerate it. And that's not including the nuclear fallout that would come afterwards. If you've ever played the game Fallout, that entire game is based on nuclear radiation. 'Tis the name Fallout. And that game is scary. And so are nukes. Now, there are a few reasons you might want to be afraid of these nuclear bombs happening in the near future. One is that in March of 2022, that's this year, Kim Jong-un made a commercial for his new nuclear missile that he launched over Japan. Here's the video for that.
정보가 울렸습니다.
Now, on one hand, this is really funny, that the leader of a country is making a commercial for a nuclear warhead. On the other hand, it's very dystopian, because the leader of a country is making a commercial for a nuclear warhead. It is a fact, though, that America does not really see North Korea as a threat, because they are very tiny and do not have nearly as many nukes as America or Russia. But the more time they're left to their own devices, they can keep making more and stronger nukes, with the potential to eventually rival that of the United States. But only one nuke is really needed to do a massive amount of destruction. Now, another big issue is that Russia is currently losing an invasion against a country that is so much smaller than them. And it's very terrifying, because Putin is a very scary man, and he had this to say about it. In the event of a threat to the territorial integrity of our country, we will certainly make use of all weapon systems available to us. This is not a bluff. Now, he may be bluffing, this is true, but it is unlikely that Putin is going to be bluffing about a nuclear war. You see, Russia has approximately 4,500 nukes ready to be used. Only about 5 nuclear warheads need to be detonated to start an all-out nuclear winter. If Russia launches a nuke against another country, there is definitely going to be retaliation, and if it is a NATO country, America is going to get involved, and America is probably going to nuke Russia back, which would only increase the speed at which a nuclear winter occurs. Now, here's what you're going to want to do if you want to survive the future dystopia of tomorrow. When the nuclear war eventually breaks out, it is very unlikely that you are going to be hit directly at your house or anywhere near your house. But the nuclear fallout is 100% going to affect you and your family. And there is always the possibility of you getting hit directly, which is probably the best outcome, as surviving in a bunker 20 feet below the ground is probably not going to be a very comfortable living situation. So dying immediately in the blast is going to be the easiest way out of it. But if you do want to survive, here are some precautions you might want to take. First, you're going to want to have contracted a 20-foot deep hole to protect from the nuclear radiation, along with thick concrete walls, also to protect from the nuclear radiation. Make sure the square footage of your bunker is enough to support a family of 5, as that is the average amount of people in a family in the United States. Since it takes about 3 to 5 weeks for radiation to dissipate, you're going to want to stay under the bunker for a minimum of that without opening the hatch. Make sure you have enough food and water to last those 3 to 5 weeks and potentially the rest of your life. Make sure you also have enough water to supply a shower, because you're going to want to have a shower to wash off all of the nuclear radiation that gets instantly coated on your body as soon as the bomb goes off. Propane is going to be the most important resource to you, aside from food and water, because it is going to supply you with energy and heat. Now, a regular standard canister of propane lasts about 2 hours, so have about 70 of those on hand in your bunker. Surviving as long as possible is going to be your main goal, so make sure to go foraging for supplies after enough radiation has died down. It is recommended that the supplies you go for have not been burned to ash from the nuclear bomb. I am sorry to say that if a nuclear war fully breaks out, it is unlikely for civilization to go back to its original way of existing. You will have to live with your family of 5 in that bunker for the rest of your lives, scavenging and foraging food. But hey, at least you didn't go out in the blast. If you would like a few more tips, there is a WikiHow linked in the description. In conclusion, I cannot see the future, but it's always best to plan for the worst, and that includes sitting in a bunker 20 feet under the ground with your family of 5. As the United States does not look like it is going to be decreasing the amount of nukes it has, nor is Russia, nor is Korea. And as former president and celebrity TV show host Donald J. Trump once said, "The United States must greatly strengthen and expand its nuclear capability until such time as the world comes to its senses regarding nukes." What he means by that can only be interpreted, but let's just hope that he's looking forward to a brighter future.